Jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss. Now you counting stars. Should've practiced more. Should've hit the mask, get out there more. Saying that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
First in the building, big blunts and boxing on deck. What's good with the blunts? How you feeling? If you dropping in, do me a favor, just hit the like button. It's simple. You know what I'm saying? Stay around, interact with the topic. Once again, you already know what we're talking about. We got some more high grease for you. You know what I'm saying? However you want it, it's right here. One stop shop. We're going to talk about something that I think that's very important. You know, leading up to this fight card, July 29th. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot that needs to be mentioned, especially when you break down the dynamics. When you break down the dynamics of boxing teams, you know what I'm saying, their relationship with one another as far as the fighter coach, fighter trainer, whatever. And people just want to assume that everything may be a-okay. But I don't know, it's still room in there to try to figure some things out based off the fighter's performance and what you heard that trainer say. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. Let me bring this up right quick. and shout out to the supporters. First and foremost, it's two other ways that you could support the channel besides being in attendance. If you choose to, send a super chat, or you choose to donate via Cash App. Both of those methods are appreciated. You feel me? Both of those methods are appreciated. Yes, sir. So let me get this right. Hold on for a second. So we're going to talk about some interesting areas that I believe that people try to overlook. You hear everybody out here talking. And, even on the Crawford side, both sides are talking up this fight real nice. You know what I'm saying? I see on the other side, they pretty much built up their confidence again. They finally talking about Spence, y'all. A lot of them are finally, getting enough courage to speak on the man. And that's good. I like that shit, man. Finally, you grow some cojones to talk about this man, but you can't talk about him without mentioning Crawford, bro. Real talk. And that's okay. I'm not sweating any of that. That is a-okay, man. That is a-okay. Hold on for a second. That's a-okay. We ain't tripping off that, man. We're not here to stop the movement from whatever they got going on. But all I'm saying is, if you support your man the way you say you do, then you should be busy up here breaking it down, doing film study, using all the proper terminology and all this other shit. to pretty much put yourself in a comfort zone that you feel that suits you heading into July 29th. I get it, bro. I get it, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to be comfortable as possible, man. That's all. I want y'all to be comfortable as possible. As I bring down, let me take this thumbnail down. I want to revisit with you all and show you some film of fights that Errol Spence was hit pretty damn clean. You know what I'm saying? He was hit pretty damn clean. I'm not saying he was hurt. All I'm saying is the man was hit pretty damn clean by some fighters that you know very, very well. But let's play this without. Let's play this second. But first, I want to talk about this. What I got up already. We'll play that second because I want y'all to hear something right quick when it comes to something that stuck with me for quite some time when it comes to a coach fighter dynamic. I still remember seeing this video when it came out, and I said to myself, "Shit, how can they be a smooth, running machine, a well-oiled running machine, if the inception of this relationship got off on the wrong foot?" For somebody to be around you that long, man, well, just let him tell it. Let's Spence tell it to you, okay?
Working with Derrick on the first 2 years, start getting better and just
For the first 2 years, they didn't talk to each other. They didn't have no conversation. They wasn't chopping it up, man. It wasn't anything that was natural. For the first 2 years, y'all. For the first 2 years. Did you hear what I said? Heading into this fight, it's a 2-year gap that they had of dead space. No communication. No communication. 730 days. Listen to what I'm telling you. 730 days. They did not converse with one another when they was getting in this training. They did not converse. How does that work exactly? How can you come in the presence of somebody that was a boxer and you're a boxer and you all don't talk for 730 days? I'm not saying they didn't say anything. They did not converse with one another. It wasn't no conversation. It was just pretty much boxing and that was it. Boom. For 730 days for 2 years, bro. For 2 years. There's a gap of coach fighter information transmission. It's a gap between these two. It is absolutely a gap and it's fact. For 730 days, they was just operating off presence. That's it. Just presence. One another presence. Okay, I see you, you see me. You see me, I see you. I see you, you see me. It was like some Avatar shit. I see you. I see you too. I see you. I see you too. They were seeing each other, but the communication was dead. And I think it's a little bit of part of that still exists, y'all. I still believe it's a little part of that still exists. I'm calling it, man. I'm calling it for real. I think it's a little bit of that still exists. Yes, I believe it 1000%. I do, man. I do. I believe. I do. Let me stop sharing this and I want to show you something else, right? All right. I believe a part of that 730 days, 2 years, still exists in the relationship of Errol Spence and Derrick James not talking to one another in the beginning. I still believe there's a gap of information that'll never, they'll never be able to feel that all those days within a year of trying to find out information from your fighter and trying to, just get within good standing, just doing basic communications and kind of feel where the fighter's mindset is. We don't know if Errol Spence was really, you know, letting Derrick James know too much about anything back then. We don't know. We don't know if he was telling him something didn't work, something did work, whatever. But as they continue to go, I guess they stayed, things start to link up a little bit. They start to click and mesh with one another. You know what I'm saying? That social glue start to stick a little bit better. And they was communicating. But let me let you see something else right quick, right? I want to show y'all something because when I hear these individuals, right, make all these thumbnails, I just want to let y'all know, the aerosexuals, I just want to let y'all know it's going to take more than a thumbnail. It's going to take more than a thumbnail and a title, God damn it, to prove what you're talking about is true. It's just, I'm just putting it out there. It's going to take more than a thumbnail and a title. I want to show y'all next some fighters that Errol Spence faced, right? That at this point in the game, right? It should be some concern. All right? It should be concern. I know a lot of you all that basically frolic the YTC like I do and monger around watching videos and stuff like that every now and then periodically. You probably seen this. So let's how times Errol Spence got rocked, and hopefully the video don't go out. Now, as I'm watching this video, this is not the first time I've seen it. But like I said before, I'm going to continue to just put little pieces and pieces and pieces up on the conveyor belt as we truck along into July 29th, right? But is it me or is Errol Spence susceptible to a right hand? I'm just saying, they talk about how he's a bruiser, how he's going to go in here and break somebody up, but they keep acting like this man is basically the Matrix. They continue to act like he's Neo and he's able to, glitch and freaking dodge these punches. No, I'm telling you, real talk. I'm telling you, that's not the case, man. As you are witnessing in this 5 times that Errol Spence was rocked. Let's continue. As you've seen right there, not from WCS. WCS is just replaying this. I'm hitting, I'm doing the replay. But as you've seen, Errol Spence was caught with a right hand on several occasions. And they was pretty hard right hands, but these right hands wasn't coming from Terrence Bud Crawford. All I'm saying is, the pro Spence fans, you should understand that he has to have some type of accountability when it comes to defense, especially stepping in the square with Terrence Crawford. As you're looking at this video, he is susceptible to a right hand. That's just one of them. He's susceptible to get hit by a right hand. And these are not fights from 1933. These are not the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? This is fairly recent. Real talk. These are fairly recent. Let's continue. It looked like EJ was hurt just then, and that fight was from Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? If you look to the bottom left, they have in the ninth round, Spence Jr. landed 142 and Porter 104, right? But as you're looking at this fight, he was being connected on. Like people act like he just went in there and were breaking Sean Porter up, and he was doing what he wanted to at will. That wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you can put out a volume of punches, but you have to understand if you choose to come in there with that same game plan, your trainer has failed you. Because one thing I heard Terrence Crawford say on the Breakfast Club, Crawford said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now that doesn't mean that he's gonna come in there with he's gonna pick a fight to come in there, because the beautiful part about the enigma of Terrence Crawford is that no one can really just dial in and give you a single style. They give you a single frame of what they assess about his fighting style. They will tell you certain aspects of his fighting style, but they won't just continue. Every time you ask somebody start off, switch hitting is a stance, right? Switch hitting, but it's what you do while you in that position, right? People don't really go into detail about what he do because he switches it up. But with Errol Spence, the first thing they'll tell you is about his jab, his forward mobility, his present pressure, his volume of punches. You know what I'm saying? How he gives you that activity. He stays active when he's coming forward. He's letting his hands go. Pretty much the engine is running. They always tell you, oh, he's going to be right there. He's going to break you down. That's what everybody, says about him. Come forward. He's going to let his hands go. And, his opponent has to be able to stand up to the volume of punch output that he has to present. All right, let's continue. I mean, as much as I want to ignore him looking for, his mouthpiece or where he thought his teeth came out, that just goes to show you, it's another video out there about with Derrick James talking to him to my, it's good you push through it. Now, if Derrick James recognized that Spence was in a bad place facing Yordenis Ugas, right? A lot of other people like myself will say the same thing, that he was in a bad place. Even DJ said it was good you was able to push through that. But you got to stay focused. You got to stay focused. You got to stay focused. Okay, so let's go here for a second, right? Because I know I have some scholars in the building, and this is no way, shape, or form poking fun at anyone in the chat. But God damn it, if I have accessibility at my fingertips and the home keys are accessible to create sentences, and yes, I'm going to put in words and definition. Focus means the center of interest or activity. Okay, the state or quality or having or producing clear visual definition. He just fought Yordenis Ugas April of 2022. His coach was telling him, we have to stay focused. You heard Errol Spence said, in a couple of his interviews, that he has to stay focused. If he stay focused, he's good. Why are you having a problem with focus, bro? Why are you having a problem with focus? Was focus a topic of discussion prior to Sean Porter fight or after Sean Porter fight? Because look, I continue to try to tell people the importance. Like I'm not, you know, I'm not a brain surgeon, but I keep on trying to explain to people the severity of the residual effect that may be happening. Excuse me. I'm not trying to downplay, you know, the well-being of EJ leading up to this fight, but I keep hearing him say FOC us, FOC us, folk us. You know what I'm saying? Folk us. Derrick James kept telling this man to focus, focus, focus. In the Udenis Ugas fight, EJ said, DJ talked to said something to him about what happened in that ring, that round, that previous round. He said, "Yeah, I got careless." This is Udenis Ugas. You was making all these mistakes and getting careless, but all people see is the way his face looked at the end. The question mark that shines bright to me is, do you think that you would be able to make those mistakes in there with Bud? Do you believe wholeheartedly that you would be able to slip and not remain focused in there with the fighter like Bud? Let me go to my title right quick. Do y'all see my title? And I mean this in every facet. Up on deck, man. I see you. This is Johnson Boxing Talking More. What's good? Crawford boxing IQ exceeds Derrick James' credentials. Ronnie Shields' great replacement. Did y'all hear what I just said? Crawford boxing IQ exceeds Derrick James' credentials. Ronnie Shields' great replacement. Am I spot on with this? You know what I'm saying? Well, people are gonna look at it like, you're trying to be humorous, you're trying to be funny about this shit. But look, I truly believe the first half of it, real talk. Crawford boxing IQ exceeds Derrick James' credentials. It does. It surely does, man. You know why I'm saying that? Because people have been on record as saying that he doesn't have a template to his style of fighting. Like I say all the time, you can extract bits and pieces based off the fighters that he's fought, right? And you can take what you may and delegate it or talk about it to somebody else in a way for educational purposes when it comes to boxing, because at the end of the day, he was in a boxing match. So you can extract little bits and pieces and parts that you want to talk about, and you can either give him pros to it or cons. But there are many people out there also that will tell you that it's a lot of fights that Crawford did not fight the same way. There's still some open areas out there that's yet to be discovered about his boxing style. Now, this is the part that I want to educate those of you that may not understand this deal, right? You have to understand this purely for what it is, man. And don't just ignore it because I'm telling you about the shit. When you hear them talk highly of a fighter over and over again, oh, he's going to break him up. He's going to break him up. He's going to break him up. Okay. The reason why I said, when I say Crawford's IQ is as high as it is, because he's been in some fights where he had to make adjustments. And he did it in a way that was very stern, you know what I'm saying, very expeditious. And the results got him straight there to the target. The results got him mission accomplishment, man. He wasn't sitting up there trying to make decisions, half step here, half step there, trying to figure it out. The man has shown that he can make adjustments in tough situations. He's shown that over and over again. If he is placed in a predicament of adversity, he has shown that his boxing IQ, he can collect it, he retransmit it. Collect it and retransmit it. That's an intelligent human being, especially in the art of war. There's a lot of areas that are left untouched to the naked eye of a boxing trainer because Bud Crawford has not demonstrated them on a consistency, bro. He has not demonstrated on a consistent basis the same template of fighting style that someone can take and say, let me look at this. This is what he did in 2 fights ago, and he did it the very next fight too. No, it's always something different. So if he's not putting the same type of remediated skill set on display when he's stepping there with these guys, then there's still a lot of information that's unknown. So you ask yourself, how the fuck do you train for information that you don't have? How the fuck do you train for what you haven't seen? Do you prognosticate it? Do you just sit up here and say, you know what? Well, we can guess based off the criteria that we have already, and 39 fights he already had. We can guess, and we're gonna take it from this point on right here. Let's just start at Ricky Burns or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Let's just start at Ricky Burns, when he start, becoming noticeable, and we're gonna go forward from there. How do you put the gauge on it? How do you put the gauge on Crawford's IQ? Why do I say that it's outside Derrick James' credentials? Because as many fights as Errol Spence, Jamel Charlo, anybody else has been in. They say fundamentals win the game, but you can pretty much look at film study and you can see his fighters doing somewhat similar routine, reciprocated combinations, the way they move, doing the same thing repetitively over and over again. I'm not saying it's not working. Obviously, Errol Spence is a unified champion. Jamel Charlo did outstanding. I'm not switching up, even though he's not one of my top 150, 1,000 fighters in life. But Jamel Charlo is 2-0 in rematches. Love. Right? But this is another dark side to why I put up there is outside his credentials. This is why I say this is an extremely dangerous fight for Team Spence. And I hear people using the shit I say. And it's okay, man. It'll be good if you just gave me a shout, because I'll be listening and y'all be using some of my shit too. It's okay, bro. I know. Y'all talking about that old nigga always over there talking. And he ain't gonna be too long before he shut it. Listen, I'm gonna tell you another part as to why this shit is so dangerous. Based off the information I just gave you about the dead space that they have, they just don't have the footage to be able to study on Terrence Crawford fights. They just don't have the footage to study. It's just not out there. So they have to take what is visibly accessible to them and do their homework. But this is where it becomes extremely dangerous, like I said. They continue to put it out to the fans. They continue to put it out to the boxing universe that Terrence Crawford has fought mediocre competition. Derrick James' mentality to me is that he's going to tell somebody that Terrence Crawford is a built fighter, but Errol Spence is the developed fighter. Well, he should have had way more development than Terrence Crawford, because he was Olympian, right? Right? I mean, when he's Olympian, he didn't medal, But he was an Olympian, right? That's what you always say. He's an Olympian. He had the amateur pedigree, right? Right. But I do remember him saying, he felt some type of way about being robbed. And then, due to his tear shedding, his eyes sweating, he was able to get put back in there. And he didn't do as well. He said he had lost his mojo. That was a big moment for him. That was a big moment for him to turn around and shine, man, because he has a second chance. That was a perfect opportunity for him. But check this out, though. Derrick James and a lot of other people continue to say that Terrence Crawford has fought marginal to below standard competition when it comes to him being compared to the elite fighters. Right or wrong? They continue to put this out there. They continue to put this out there that Crawford has fought mediocre competition. So therefore, when I speak of the dangerous aspect on training for Terrence Crawford, the mindset and mentality is that you believe that he's fought competition that was below standard of Errol Spence Jr. You believe wholeheartedly that Errol Spence would have beat everybody that's on Terrence Crawford's resume. Okay. We've heard that several times over and over again, right? So in your mind, how do you maximize? How do you reach a whole nother level when your mindset is that Terrence Crawford is a fighter that has below standard opposition comparable to Spence? You cannot consider him to be a foreseeable threat if you don't respect the competition that he's fought up to this point. Now he's in there with your fighter. He's in there with Errol Spence. He's in there with your fighter. How do you reach a different peak that you've never reached for a fighter that you don't even respect, that had the type of competition for you to consider him an elite fighter? You all have been on record as discounting the competition that Crawford has stepped in the ring with. So therefore, I'm looking at this in a way like, how do you break out that bubble and say, this is the fight that we need to change levels? Because it's odd to me in trying to figure out what level would you change to. Which level can you go to if you already, if you and the aerosexuals and everybody else, y'all believe that this man hasn't fought competition on the level of Spence? So how hard are you going to push Errol Spence if you don't think he's even qualified to be in the ring with your fighter? What footage? And this is very, very clear what I'm about to tell you, right? If you don't respect his resume, which fight are you going to look at and take bits and pieces from to train this man for July 29th? If everybody on his resume doesn't add up, doesn't fit the bill, who and what name on his resume are you going to extract? What fights? Are you going to take 3 fights, 4 fights, 5 fights? If it is 5 fights, right? Out of those 5 fights, who's going to be your number one? Who's going to be your number one? Where are you going to, which fight out of the 5 you're going to pick as your number one? If you feel that really the top 2 opposition that he has on there, you discredit him. You discredit him. You discredit their opponents, Kell Brook and Sean Porter. You discredit them. Period. Errol Spencer said Kell Brook was his toughest, but yet he wasn't shit when he fought Crawford. So if that's indeed the reason behind your validation to say he ain't fought nobody, the fight only lasted 3.5 fucking rounds, homie. How are you going to take a fight that lasted that long in a short period? What information are you going to collect off that when he was fighting orthodox for 3 rounds, 2 3/4 until he changed to southpaw at the end of the 3rd round? How are you going to collect intel from a fight that was closed down in the fourth round. And you said Kell Brook was a shell of himself and he wasn't it. See, y'all don't even listen to language, bro. Like, it's not difficult to listen to language, man. I'm just sitting here listening to what y'all saying. And it seems good for a thumbnail, but it's a lot deeper than this shit. It's a lot deeper when you just pay attention to what people say, and they don't even put analogies together. They're scared of the analytics, man. They don't want to put analogies together and try to do deductive reasoning. Okay, I'll take these two and this two right here, and I try to come up with a certain result here, based off the evidence that I have. But listen, how can you take the information from Kell Brook? If I was a trainer, I can do that with Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? Because he went damn near the distance with Kell Brook. But he didn't want to give credit to Sean Porter. But in both of those fights, he went into the 11th round with both of those fights. Errol Spence himself went into the 11th round with these fighters. Terrence Bud Crawford did not. How is Derrick James qualified for the boxing IQ of Bud Crawford when he has made these fighters look below average? He's went in there and closed out fighters that's never been stopped. He's taken the O of fighters who's undefeated. So how can you collect data from a fighter who doesn't like going to the scorecards? If you say David Benavidez had one leg, but yet he went into the championship rounds with Crawford, how do you assess that? What information do you take from that fight? Is that even a fighter that you respect enough to take, film study from to prepare Spence for Crawford? Or you just saying, well, we're going to stick to what we always do because he ain't fought nobody. We believe Errol Spence is way better than Crawford. So we're just going to work on what we usually work on. We're going to do the same shit we did for Ugas and Danny Garcia, and that shit should be fine. Let me get to the chat right quick. Appreciate everyone who pulled up. I'm just giving y'all some information, man. Like, it ain't nothing technical. Tony Boswell, what's good? Much respect at World Combat Sports in the chat. Stopped in to show support and hit the like button. Working and listening. Salute my brother. Salute to you, Tony. You and your fam, you already know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy that day, my brother. Don Vaughn with the $5 super chat. Salute WCS in the chat. Salute to you, Don Vaughn, and much appreciated, brother. One love to you. Indeed. Retro Boxing and Documentaries Blood, the OG in the building, man. Hey, big bro hoes, that Georgia OG doing. Shout out to Blood being on deck, man. Always a pleasure. Y'all definitely go check that brother out. You know what I'm saying? I'm good, man. Georgia, the weather's okay, man. A little bit cloudy down here, Blood. You know what I'm saying? A little bit cloudy down here. We ain't getting that summer sunshine like we want, man. It was 90-some degrees the other day, on Saturday. Now it's all cloudy and muggy. Lost all the boxing. What's good with it? So, as far as the boxing IQ, just the initial reaction from some of these people, they just say, oh, that's just, WCS over there talking. But the way I look at the boxing IQ perspective is that you have to gather all your criteria that you want to try to build a case that I'm lying. You have to gather all that criteria to build enough to say that I'm lying. You have to build it up to a point where the formula don't add up in the end. You know what I'm saying? So when you're talking about trying to examine fights that Bud Crawford has already been in, and the fact that the general public has been made to believe that this man ain't stepped in the ring with nobody that is of qualification of Errol Spence Jr. Then not only that, the two opponents that fans was clamoring for. You know, say, oh man, we're yearning for that fight. He needs to fight a common opponent, a common opponent, a common opponent. Kell Brook came into the picture. Bud framed him up real nice and got him up out of there in 4. How much boxing study did you can do out of that? How much boxing study went on his box record? Say he's a southpaw, and he fought 2 3/4 of the fight until the end of the 3rd round in orthodox. And then when he came out in the 4th round in southpaw, what happened? We already seen what happened. On to the next fight. Sean Porter, always in shape, physically fit, strong. You know what I'm saying? Physical. He's the one that barely lost a split decision to Errol Spence. He comes into the fray in shape, ready, in shape. I don't give a damn about that all access bullshit. Oh man, you know, Sean Porter, it's some things, man. Please, father sons, if you are a freaking team, a tandem in the boxing, if you're a father and son dynamic, you're always gonna have disagreements. That's just the way boxing is. But check this out. Like I always say, and will continue to do so. Y'all showed up for the check, and that's that. Y'all did not sit up here and call in and say, you know what, we're gonna pull out this fight. Why? Because Sean, he ain't doing what I told him to do in training. He ain't ready. You know, and then we didn't get a phone call from Sean. Sean didn't say, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for this fight because me and Dad been arguing back and forth, bickering. We've been bickering between one another. And I just don't think I've gotten productive training out of here to go in here with a fighter like Crawford. No, they showed up. They showed up, didn't they? They showed up. Not only did they show up, y'all, but Sean Porter was boxing very, very well. Sean Porter was boxing extremely well in there with Crawford. He even shocked me. He took me back to Julio Diaz. He took me back to the Diaz fight. I'll say Sean is doing pretty good. I said, okay. Then that moment happened where there's 3 minutes in the round, and for that round, that 9th round expired. The 3 minutes expired and the bell motherfucking rung. So Crawford went over to his corner. He sat down, just like he always do in between rounds. Sat down. And it's rumor that someone from the sideline outside of the apron told him he was down on unofficial scorecards. And then Crawford deciphered what was being said in English. And his response was 3 simple letters. How? Okay? How? I never, quite seen how be used as a deadly weapon. But it was, man. He said, how? And then, okay. Okay was just opening up the gates to hell because he went over there in the fight, didn't last that much longer. How? I think that's one of the biggest moments if we want to basically gauge how severe that word is. How? We've seen it right then and there in the sport of boxing. Somebody fucked around and told him he was behind, and he went out there and closed out Sean Porter and had Sean Porter himself attacking the canvas of the ring. Now, I know it was 3 people in the ring, but Sean Porter commenced to attacking the ring canvas. Now, I understand frustration has many levels, but boxing IQ, people will look at that and they try to brush it off, But you have to understand what type of boxing IQ does Crawford have to make an adjustment in that short window to go in there and close Sean Porter out? Who has ever dialed that shit in, especially with the type of punches that he landed on Sean Porter? Who have you seen do that to Sean Porter and close him out like that? You know what I'm saying? Like when Errol Spence connected in the 11th round, it was with a left hook, right? And and the left hook, both fighters was pretty much throwing the same punch, but FedEx arrived a little bit earlier for Errol Spence, and he ended up getting the slight flash knockdown where the tip of Sean Porter's right hand touched the canvas. It's a knockdown. You know what I mean? It's a knockdown, right? Okay, I'm not taking it away. But this is where the IQ issue comes into play, right? If you're going to mince the productivity that you've seen in these fights that Crawford has been able to give you doing his resume, and once again, if your appraising value is extremely low, especially to the qualifications of that of Errol Spence resume, and we've heard over and over again that Errol Spence can beat everybody on his resume. So how do you assess Crawford's ability to select certain fights from his resume that you respect, and you take that to film study to prepare you for July 29th? How? How do you do that? It's no way that Derrick James has the ability to figure out what Crawford is going to do, because he's pretty much stopped everybody in the current division for which y'all been in for several freaking years prior to him even coming on deck. So how are you supposed to assess this situation? You're not qualified to assess the situation. You're not. You're not qualified, bro. You're not qualified to figure this out because your fighters does not give the fan base or those in attendance or whatever. They don't give them multi-variety or multifaceted where people just don't automatically come out the block and say, yeah, I know so-and-so's. I'm not sure what he's going to do. I don't know, man. It's according to what his opponent's going to do. No, they always come out and they say, okay, this is how this fight is going to start. He got the best jab in boxing. He's going to give you pressure. And you better know what to do with that pressure too. He's going to come forward. He's going to go up top to the body, uppercut. You know, you got to be willing to take that. Else he's going to break you. He's going to break you. The only thing I'm hearing from Spence is he said he's going to break Crawford mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? So if that's the case, what type of training does that consist of? You might as well go to a railroad track and watch trains go by all day, because that's the mentality that you have. You have the mentality of a train. You go straight past your ass and keep on trucking. Choo choo. Chugga, 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 chugga. I mean, if you're going to come in there and be a welterweight train, then, you know, I'm going to tell you ahead of time, it's not going to work out for you. What game plan Derrick James is going to come up for Terrence Crawford if you have seen limited rounds? First of all, he's giving you limited rounds, limited, against opposition that you don't favor. Against opposition that you do not favor. When you say you do not favor them as being elite fucking fighters, how are you supposed to do film study on the opposition if you don't respect the opposition? You busy up there comparing Errol Spence to every one of his opposition as if he'll go in there and do the same thing, but yet when he fights two common opponents of Errol Spence, he shuts them down in shorter period of time. And your mentality is, well, they was a shell of themselves and they was on their way to retirement and so forth. So how in the fuck are you planning on extracting film study to prepare him for July 29th? Please explain that to me, DJ. Aerosexuals, I know you get some education. Maybe you can do some homework And maybe you can come up with a live stream and explain this shit to me. How's Derrick James qualified to train and get Errol Spence prepared for this fight if there's not fights or fighters out there on his resume that he respect enough? Or you can look at the time that Terrence Crawford spent with these fighters in those particular moments. And is that information enough for you to assess different types of styles that Crawford's going to present to Errol Spence? I don't know. It's kind of difficult to get through to these aerosexuals. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Gas Boxing Jackson Moore. What's good with it, Bruce? The OG in the building. I got the OGs on deck. You know what I'm saying? Blood said Terrence Crawford is going on the YouTube page tonight, OG. The page is In the Ring with Christine. Wow, In the Ring. It's the first one to get it. Shout out to Christine, man. Got mad love for Christine over there in Texas. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Christine. Yeah, I know exactly who that is. Her son's box. You know what I'm saying? I've seen her at several fights. Appreciate that information, blood. You know what I'm saying? That should be interesting. And you know what? It's good. He's going on a YouTube channel. Real talk. It's good. He's going on the YouTube channel, man. He's venturing out. That's good shit. And it's doing training too. Oh man, that's good shit, man. What time? What time? What's the notification there, blood? What's the notification on that? Hey, anybody got the notification that? Please let me know. Hey, shout out to the one and only Jamal Neasy on deck in the building. We have nothing but evidence on our side. Yes, sir. That Bud would stop everybody EJ had fought. EJ was struggling go the distance on Bud resume. Yes, sir. I agree. And shout out to Neasy with the $5 super chat. Man, thank you for your continuing support of the channel and your donations, brother. Real talk. I appreciate that, man. One love to you. Shout out to my guy Trick Noti on deck, man. What's going on, Trick? Choo choo train. Yes, sir, man. I'm telling you, man. You know, hey, I try to tell him, if you're gonna have that come forward style, you might as well go to the railroad tracks and just stand there all day. You and Derrick. Hey, Spence, you see how that train just going forward past us like that? That's all you need to do. Just keep on choo-choo trucking. You know what I'm saying? You can't be stopped. You can't be. If I put a dog right there in front of that train while it's coming, it's gonna run that dog over. That's exactly the game plan that we got with Crawford. We're gonna run him over. Man, come on now. Stop it. Stop it. Let Derrick James train EJ. Train EJ for the Crawford that lost to Ugas in the amateurs. Oh my God. Talk your shit, dog. Talk your shit, dog. Hey, then Charlemagne the God tried to bring that shit up, bro. Charlemagne the God going off playing the villain and shit, going off producer notes, playing the villain. Come on. Then he beat you, then you guys. You know what I'm saying? Then you guys beat you in the amateurs. Like that shit got anything to do with that. But I understand he was trying to play the villain. He was trying to be the bad guy. And that's some fucked up, dumbass questions. And he succeeded. You know, he succeeded. Real talk. Train for Ugas in the AMs. Yeah. Yeah. But shout out to Bud Crawford for answering them questions, you know, politely, professionally, you know, straight to the point, man. Tonight at 10 Eastern time. All right, cool, bro. All right. Shout out to Crawford, man, for coming over here to the YTC, bro. Shout out to him. And this is training too. This is his camp. Shout out to Christine for getting a drop. And she's out there in Errol Spence land. She's out there in Texas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She's out there in Texas now. Shit. And I don't blame Bud for coming in here on the women's channel. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Why not show the women some love, shawty? Ain't nothing wrong with that shit. Let's just see the rest of this video right quick, man. I want y'all to see some things. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they say. They see some things, right? Look like a train wreck to me. Just hang out on the railroads. You'll be okay. You'll be okay because look, people are somewhat hypnotized by the forward pressure that this brother is giving these opponents. And just to think, right? Once again, blood, I'm trying to tell them, right? I'm trying to explain to them what I listen to, right? Derrick James was the same one on a podcast that they was weighing the odds of basically taking punishment and getting knocked out. And Derrick James said he'd rather get knocked out because it's less punishment, right? But his fighter, if that is indeed your mindset, your mentality, Derrick James, why don't you train your fighter to have better defense? Or are y'all still stuck in the 2-year gap when y'all wasn't conversing with one another? I get it, man. I truly do. I get it, bro. Real talk. I do get it. I understand. You said you said that you'd rather get knocked out than take punishment, but your fighter Errol Spence takes punishment. So is it the 2-year gap when y'all wasn't talking that y'all still haven't caught up? Y'all can never feel that void because Errol, he should respect you enough to say, hey, I need to work on some defense, real talk for this fight. I need that for Crawford. If we can't find motherfucking film study to save us, we definitely need to work on defense because I know he's going to be shooting us some offense. Because I've been getting my head lit up in some of these previous fights, even with Danny Garcia and Udina Sugas. So DJ, if you can help me with some defense, I appreciate it, brother. But I don't think they even working on defense. And for those of you that's dropping these links to freaking Team Spence, look, drop them this link because I really want EJ to work on his defense for this fight because I don't think it's going to be good for you, brother. I don't think it's going to be healthy for you to go in there against Bud and freaking not work on your defense because obviously in this damn clip, you are getting hit with damn near the same hand. So you're going to change that shit up? That right hand been lighting your ass up in these clips, man. Damn. Double up on the right hand, shouty. Look at Sean Porter tagging with that right hand. Look at that. Hit him with the left. Left again. Not even looking. Hit him with the overhand left. Oh, hit him again with the right. Come on now. You know what? I'm going to take this video down. I don't want my listens to start swelling up. I'm going to be goddamn honest with y'all. I don't want y'all to start swelling up in the comfort of your own home. Y'all might have to go to the fridge and goddamn grab a rag or something and get some ice because your goddamn eyes swelling up looking at that shit. How is Derrick James able to be qualified enough for Crawford's boxing IQ? Ronnie Shields has a better boxing record. You know, if I want to be petty, Ronnie Shields has a better boxing record than Derrick James. He has less defeats. I mean, only one. You know, Derrick James has one more defeat than Ronnie Shields, I think. But within those defeats, DJ was stopped 4 times. You know what I'm saying? Ronnie Shields was stopped once. Ronnie Shields has more knockouts than Derrick James. So pretty much if you're gauging the amount of times he was only stopped once but he still lost 6 times. And you take that in consideration that maybe defense played a role in that, then we might be on to something, man. Even though they fought during different times, I'm just saying, I'm just being petty with the trainers and shit, bro. Like, I'm just putting it out there, man. I'm just putting it out there. Like, you said yourself, DJ, that you're ready to get knocked out. So since you're ready to get knocked out, then take punishment. Don't look no sort of way when that shit happens July 29th, because Bud is going to relieve you of any stress that you may have about Spence taking punishment. Because for the life of me, I can't understand how you can have that mindset, but yet your fighter is not active defensively. Your fighter is getting lit up, but you say taking punishment. You go through it days after you leave the ring. You're still going through it and going through it and going through it, and over time it's punishment. I get it. I totally understand, bro, because really, 7 of your losses, you was knocked out 4 times. I get it. Use a box. I respect that. But, your speech is a little like you have, early stages of pugilistica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking you might have learned from the mistakes you made as a professional fighter. I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I don't think you're qualified to try to figure out Crawford's ring IQ in an attempt to train Errol Spence with a game plan that you're comfortable with heading in there July 29th. One that you're comfortable with that's going to be beneficial to Errol Spence taking the least punishment that he ever did in his boxing career. And also in there with the toughest fighter that when he starts to meet those challenges head on, he knows what adjustments to make. I don't think you're qualified to do that. I don't think you're qualified based off the information you're put out to the public and Errol Spence put out to the public once again at the press conference. He said you ain't fought nobody. So since you and your fighter have the same mentality that Crawford ain't fought nobody, hey, kudos to y'all, man. Y'all have an easy fight camp ahead of you all. Real talk. They have an easy fight camp, y'all. It don't get any easier than that. Man, stop it, man. Stop it, man. Let's be honest, man. You ain't fought nobody. Okay. I tell my listeners and I tell the people that's tuned in on the outside, just chilling. If that is indeed the case, we have an easy, what I'm saying? We can prognosticate the results, the predictions easily when it comes to this fight because none of his opponents are respected. Even though 2 of them are common opponents, they don't respect when they fought Bud. They don't give Bud any respect, and that's dangerous, man. Because you're basically saying that, yeah, he went in there and did it better than me. But instead of giving him credit for understanding how to go about that, I'm just going to shut down the opponent and say they wasn't shit to begin with. They wasn't shit when they walked in the ring to fight him. And I'm going to stick with that story. Unless they real good poker players. Unless they real good poker players, bro. They might be real good poker players, man. They may be extremely concerned and just out here with a poker face on. And I think listening to Derrick James when he was talking to somebody out in the hallway, and they asked him, how do you think you're gonna go in there? What do you think? And I know trainers don't give this shit up. He said, how do you see yourself going in there and beating Crawford? And then Derrick's like, I have no idea. I believe that more than all the hype that Crawford ain't fought nobody. And not only that, it's too much paperwork that's out there on Crawford. Like, goddamn. Like, why is the paperwork saying he's in front of you on the pound for pound list? Why have he won more championships than you have? Why have he beat more champions than you? Why have he beat more undefeated fighters than you? So if you asking yourself all these, questions, and that's still not enough criteria for you to respect his resume? Hey man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, y'all. I want you to listen to a video. All right. And this is what I'm talking about. Derrick James being unqualified to kind of get a gauge on Crawford's boxing IQ because he's unwilling to give that man credit. He's just basically putting all his eggs already cracked and everything into a motherfucking barrel and say he ain't did shit. Peep this out right. Check this out right here. Y'all let me know what you think.
Who's the better puncher when it goes down? Crawford got 10 knockouts to the row, but Spence looks like the heavy-handed, natural.
10 knockouts in a row against who?
Some solid guys along the way. Sean Porter,
To be fair, that's not man. Sean Porter's daddy said I was going to stop the fight before the fight. Didn't he say that? So what does that mean?
I think
No. What that meant was he was showing Sean he's still the boss. There was a power struggle going on in the ring. And what did Sean do when his dad did stop the fight? What did he do? He retired and didn't tell him. Ask him when the last time you talked to your dad. He was in the corner. He had not spoken to him anymore. So there was a power struggle going on. The father wanted to prove him that he still was the boss. I'm just saying he hadn't faced the same competition, same level of competition.
Well, are you kind of also saying that Crawford's power is a little bit overstated?
I mean, I don't know. I never seen him fight like 2 or 3 times. I watched a lot of boxing. I do not watch boxing, but I'll start watching him when we start training for the fight.
Okay. So people, now you know WCS is not bullshitting you, right? That's the first time I seen that video. And based off my title, that proves my point right there. This is moments when it comes to this boxing talk where you don't have to sit up here and say, I'm in a musty ass gym. You know, you just have to understand, a whole lot of pieces, man. It's like a collage, bro. You have to understand a lot of pieces, man, and paint your own picture. Put your own picture together. This man say he don't watch boxing. Now, once again, he can have a damn good poker face saying that shit. He said he don't watch boxing, but he was a boxer. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say he bullshitting. And look, I'm gonna go on another limb and say he ain't bullshitting. That's what I'm saying. Every time something is presented, they go off the same narratives that's floating out here in the YTC waterways, man. These mother continue to just discount everything Crawford has done. So if this nigga say he don't watch boxing until the fight camp, and we know even in college, you get your assignment and they give you a time frame to complete the assignment, right? But if you know that assignment is coming up ahead of time, or let's just say a test, a test is coming up ahead of time, you can actually gain, study material ahead of time before that test actually comes up to the point. Say, okay, you have 10 days, you have 5 days to this test, But yet you already been told you had that test and you know what the test is going to be on, so you can study for it. With boxing, every test isn't the same. You know what I'm saying? Every opponent is different. So him saying he don't watch boxing, I mean, that's some dumb shit right there, bro. I mean, brainwaves must have been freaking linking up when I made this video because, shout out to Showtime, man. I haven't even seen that video before. That's the first time I've seen it. But that just goes along with what I said about, Crawford's boxing IQ exceeds Derrick James' credentials. That's a perfect example. That is why you can only play catch up with so many boxers, only with so many boxers. And then you're going to get to the point when you attempt to break out of the easy route. You know what I'm saying? That bubble that you put yourself in, you have to break out the easy route. And now you have the last man standing with the WBO strap, and the motherfucker ain't easy. Now you really have to look and ask yourself, if your coach, your trainer does not look at boxing, I'm curious to know if you look at boxing. I'm curious to know if EJ looks at boxing. I'm curious to know if y'all even doing film study. Are y'all even doing film study on him? Are y'all going to pick the little bit of rounds that he's fought within the welterweight division and try to figure out, okay, what's his strengths and weaknesses? Or y'all just going to try to play your hand? That's wild, bro. That's wild. That's wild thinking about that shit. That's wild, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are y'all going to figure this shit out, man? No, it's actually more like 9 p.m. Okay, for sure. For sure. No doubt. Has anyone seen EJ train on the double end bag or speed bag? I can't find one clip for reaction training. Do you have you ever seen a train jump off the tracks and take the business route on the main road and hop back on down the street? Have you ever seen that done? I don't think you have. You ever seen a train path in the wood area up near the park and then jump back on the tracks about 6 or 7 miles down the road? Man, come on, man. They just be hitting them mitts, bro. Choo choo, chugga 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 chugga. You can see he does not know anything about boxing other than going off of emotions. Hey, you seem like you're assessing that fairly well, man. Because listen, when that person said he had 10 knockouts, Derrick James go back to what he knows best. It was a point in time where he disrespected the Porters, where Kenny Porter had to pull up on him because he was trying to say, yeah, Sean Porter, come over here to where we're going to treat you right. It was disrespectful. At the end of the day, you can treat Sean Porter like he's a boxer, but yet that's his family at the end of the day. As you heard in the video, he's up here talking about personal shit. Talking about he ain't talked to his dad since then. Listen, bro, why are you so concerned, man? You need to be worried about that guy who can change your life. Charlo doesn't have the name. Even though he was the first, his first isn't like this first. This is different. Jamel Charlo don't have a name like Spence. You know that to be true. You know that shit. But yet, you busy hanging on every motherfucking syllable and vowel. And time somebody say, well, he has 10 straight knockouts. I don't care. Okay, when it comes July 29th, I hope, when it presents itself, I really hope when that round expire, it's not the end of the fight, and that you have a little bit of time to give him instructions. Because goddamn it, I want to hear some instructions, bro. I want to hear what you got to say. I don't want to hear no shit over there talking about, hey, you're blowing it, kid. You're blowing it. Stay focused, kid. You're blowing it. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear no pep talk. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no, you gotta be a fireman. Turn on the hose. He's on fire. You gotta cool him down there, Spence. He's burning you up. Man, come on. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Don't ever ain't none. Done, there ain't none. Spence admitted Kell Brook was his toughest and strongest opponent yet, but Handler Brooks also lifted Kell up like a table lamp, but he light in the ass. Hey man, I continue to try to help them understand how important wrestling is, period. And they keep on thinking because wrestling, you know, it usually ends up on the ground, right? Bro, before you are on the ground, you're where? On your feet. That is the whole, you know, training aspect of wrestling, getting to know the feeling of your opponent, just like in boxing. Freaking, you know, you're going to close distance. You're going to be in the clinch. A wrestler knows how to manipulate the movement and the subtle shifts in momentum from your opponent, taking their strengths and making them weaknesses. If they're a pusher, you know, you use it to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? If they continue to just go forward, like that's all it takes, Crawford's going to be able to have the advantage because he does know and understand his wrestling. He does know how to manipulate, know how to position his arms on the inside, the turn Spence. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You don't have to listen. You know, just hear me out. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying. Just hear me out. They respected the common opponents until Crawford wiped the floor with them. Then they switched up. Man, they've been switching up on Bud, man. We seen that on the YTC, but the YTC really don't count like the actual teams count. You know what I'm saying? We can't look the teams and the legends and everybody that's out there. They're going off based on, you know, Crawford's performance in the ring and how he handled himself outside the ropes. That's just what it is. They know that Errol Spencer's a brawler. They know that. Wait a minute, WCS. Are you saying that EJ could have been taking the easy route by fighting Bud a long time ago? Hey, he could have did it, man. But yet, you know, he did not include Bud Crawford in the easy route. Bud Crawford was never considered to be on the roster. They never put him in the lineup, bro. And this is what I'm saying, Neezy, right? If he is indeed that guy who has performed beneath the standards as a 3-division champion, he ain't fought nobody. He hasn't fought nobody. Why wasn't he included on the easy route? Because the shit don't make any sense right now. If the man haven't fought nobody, but yet in the welterweight division, you're taking the easy route. Well, he was light in the ass when he came up to 47. And he was coming off Julius Ndongo, which y'all don't respect at all. So coming off Julius Ndongo would have been a perfect time for Spence to say, you know what? Let me go ahead and get this light. What Jamel Charlo say, this light boy. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and get him while he just picked up the title. Let me go fight him. Get him out the way, and then it's going to be smooth sailing from then on. But they didn't put Crawford in the easy route, bro. It's just too many areas, too many bullet points out here for this shit not to make sense to the aerosexuals, bro. It's just too much information that's there for you all to archive that you unwilling to look at. Y'all busy talking about old shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all the type of niggas that pour hot butter sauce on bread. You know what I'm saying? Stale ass fucking bread and shit. Oh man, it's soft now. Taste it. That tastes good, don't it? I'm gonna heat up some cream sauce. Get the rest of that stale bread out of there. You know what I'm saying? God, I'm gonna heat up that sauce and shit, pour it all over there. It's gonna soften it up. It's gonna taste like it's supposed to. Come on, bro. You can't do that shit. Y'all still going off old information, man. Old information. Y'all want to talk about what a nigga did in 22. But what really matters is what he has going on in 23. And now that y'all running with narratives, right? Y'all not getting anywhere with it. Because it just don't make any sense. If he's ahead of you all in anything, your mindset should be persuaded already. Like he's in front of you on the pound for pound list. Y'all got that. He's done more. His body of work is more. So what you're trying to say is everybody that he's picked up those championships from, to include Julius Ndongo, who was undefeated, y'all gonna say, oh, look what happened to him after he fought Terrence Crawford. He didn't do shit. Well, guess what? You can say that about Sean Porter too. You know what I'm saying? You can say that about Sean Porter too. How many losses did Kell Brook come in the ring with when he fought Crawford? How many losses did he have? He had Gennady and he had Errol Spence. How many undefeated champions has Errol Spence beat to pick up a belt? He was at the press conference bragging about he fought the champions, but come on, let's be realistic, man. Regardless of Yordenis Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao, nobody's sitting up here sending a parade down the street and saying, you know what, we respect you, Ugas. You know, you esquatulated from Cuba that many times, man. You finally made it. You defected. And Ugas a good dude. Real talk, point blank, man. Ugas a real good dude. I know this to be true, man. Ugas a good dude. But these guys was only giving him love and showing him love because he is a good dude, right? And the fact that he was able to go in there and has had a pretty good fight with Manny Pacquiao. And also he had a pretty good fight with Sean Porter. He did. Good dude. But they always want to act like the only person they want to talk about that's still undefeated, they want to talk about Yorkes Gamboa. But yet they won't bring up the fact that that Ugas had back-to-back losses when he had a lot of hype behind him. A lot of motherfucking hype. And he just couldn't get it done on the big stage, bro. But yet when he fought Manny Pacquiao, who Errol Spence wanted to fight, people's like, okay, he's good. He's good enough for Spence to go in there. And then Spence go in there and he was struggling with him. And his coach, Derrick James, is saying, focus. We need to work in the gym, stay focused. How you going to work on being focused, bro? You don't watch film. What does he have to be focused on? If you're not taking bits and pieces from his fights, right? Because you have enough rounds to take bits and pieces from his fight. Why don't you put him on a reaction program so he can, hit the buttons when the dots show up or something? You need to give him brain activity, brain, you know what I'm saying? Brain studies, put him on these curriculums to better improve his cognizant process. That's all. If you don't watch film, at least allow yourself to improve his mechanics, his psychological mechanics, man. Since Bud fought nobody, he's a built fighter. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the shit never stops, bro. You know you're great when you can literally embarrass your opponents. You're that good, like when Bud was toying with Diaz, an Olympian. He was, man. And we talking about fighters who was supposed to be the shit. Gamboa was a hitter back then. How dare Crawford take that man to Omaha to defend his title? Who does that? And you ain't fought nobody. Who takes a fighter like Gamboa to their hometown to fight this man? Who does shit like that? And then still have these people on the outside saying the only time they want to bring up Gamboa's name is that when he hurt Crawford. And Crawford has been on record several times acknowledging that Gamboa hurt him, but also he reminds people that what happened after he hurt me. I don't know what to say, bro. I don't know what to say. I'm just a bill sitting on top of Capitol Hill. Y'all know nothing about that. Y'all weren't born right around then. That's when we had 3 channels on TV and that commercial kept on coming up. I'm just a bill. With Crawford film study is tough because he is an artist. With the blank canvas, he creates as he go. He can't be curved fitted. Hey, true words, man. Talk your shit, bro. Talk your shit, done for real. You know what I'm saying? That's why they can't get, what do you, it makes all the sense in the world why I feel the way I feel about the man up here saying he don't watch film. And I really think he's bullshitting on that for him to say some more dumb shit like that. And I'm looking at it like, okay, don't watch film then. Because truth be told, what are you going to watch film on? Y'all say Benavidez was one-legged, right? So is Errol Spence one-legged? So you truly don't know what Spence would do if he was in Errol Spence was in Jose Benavidez place, because Spence don't fight like Benavidez. So you really can't take, Benavidez, who had one leg supposedly. I'm just saying, what 5 fights, what 3 fights do you take and do film study on? You already done discounted Sean Porter. Him and his dad had issues. He wasn't 100%, but yet they was praising the shit out of him from round 1 through 9 until he got stopped in the 10. Shit don't make no sense. Shout out to Shaw News, the Sauce Experience, aka Showtime Shaw. What it do, man? Shaking my head. Why did he get upset when they asked him about Crawford having 10 straight stops? Man, I don't know, man. I can't figure it out remotely. Your guess is good as mine, man. I don't know. I'm going to channel my Kanye. I don't have the answers as to why he's so agitated about a fighter that he's supposed to be training Errol Spence to go in there and beat. How can you be that, agitated when you're about to go into the biggest fight of your fighter's career? Why do you don't like him so much? That's a rhetorical. You know what I'm saying? But I don't have the answers, bro. Toby Bartlett on deck. What's good with it? W says, I appreciate some subtitles for the next Derrick James clip, please. OG, my British hearing is still finding it difficult to understand him. Listen, y'all can all figure this shit out, because DJ said that he'd rather get knocked out than take punishment. But yet he allows his fighter to go in there and take punishment. How is that? How does that add up to making sense, though? Your fighter has very limited defense, bro. So you're trying to tell me for Team Crawford, that's not going to be a part of their film study? You just chucking along straightforward right through the front door? You just going to say physically, mentally, spiritually. That is your 3 categories. Your overall result you're trying to get is to break his will. So pretty much Team Crawford, they have some criteria, a lot of criteria to go off of on how they want to land that counter shot. That's what they can go off of. How they plan on landing counter shots on Spence and his forward pressure. That's what they can study. I don't know what Derrick them going to study. I really don't. They're going to study for Terrence Crawford being in southpaw. You think he's going to come up there and pull off a Marvin Hagler and come out there and fight like he ain't never fought before? Come on, bro. Come on, man. Hell no. Hell no, bro. He was mad they brought up the facts. Crawford had 10 straight stops. Derrick's been trying to downplay Crawford as a fighter. Man, like I said before, I don't have the answers as to why he's so upset. Like, why are you so upset? Or paperwork. The box rec states what it states. He earned that shit. Now, just because you want to take every freaking opponent is going to be your downfall, bro. It's going to be your Achilles heel for real. Because you're refusing to respect anything this man has done up to this point. So once again, I ask him and I ask all the supporters that are clamoring and gathering around and corralling and saying, hey, you're gonna do the job. I ask you this. What are y'all training for then? What are y'all training for when it comes to Crawford? Somebody please answer that. What are you training for? I'm just curious. Shout out to Green on deck, man. Salute to the Archbishop WCS, always in the field. Appreciate it, Green. Aerosexuals keep bringing up Spence breaking eyes. Victor Postal blinded Lucas Matisse via stopping him. And Crawford handled Postal easily. Yes, sir. Facts, man. Come on, man. You going into the boxing annals, man, and archiving information that's accessible. But when they don't respect any of the opponents that Crawford has, do you have the answers, Green? How are they supposed to go and practice and do film study and goddamn train for this Omaha monster? I'm curious how they supposed to do it, because they don't think he's fought anybody on the level of Spence. So they have an easy training camp. You know what I think they're doing? I just think they're over there losing weight. Hey, when Crawford said if it ain't broke, don't fix it, that doesn't mean he's just going out there training for the same way. He said, no, you always have more than one plan. So with every freaking fight he had in the welterweight division, the results has been closures, right? So for him, he said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That doesn't mean they're not looking at film. I'm just being honest, man. That doesn't mean they ain't watching film. Matisse also was the only one to stop Lamont Peterson, but Arrow Team didn't bring that up before fighting him in a title defense. Hey, when you going back, listen, let's put it this way, Green. When you go back to Lamont Peterson, right, they're definitely not going to bring up that piece of the pie because they feel like Peterson is not relevant enough to be held in the conversation of best opponents that Errol Spence's fought. You know what I'm saying? Like they might even bring up the nutritionist before they bring up Lamont. You know they definitely gonna bring up that lightweight before they bring up Lamont. Real talk. They'll bring up the most decorated opponent on his record is a guy who came up 2 divisions, Mikey Garcia. That's the most decorated opponent on his record. But yet he says the toughest fight he had was Kell Brook because he don't want to give Sean Porter the credit because he couldn't stop him, and Terrence Crawford did. Isn't that some selfish ass shit right there, bro? That's some selfish ass shit right there, bro. Carlos Williams on deck. What's good? I thought he was telling Spence after Ugas fight to stay focused because Spence usually blow up between fights. No, he was telling him to stay focused during the fight, man. Why? Look, why, if they didn't have a fight date, right? Why would you be telling a fighter that just finished fighting to stay focused on a fight that's not even official? We know that to be true, Carlos, because so many people have talked about when they sent the term sheets, when they sent the proposal, and they didn't send the proposal that same night he was getting out the ring. So he couldn't have been telling him to stay focused in between fights and don't balloon up and wait. No, if you go and watch that video, it's a video out there, and they have all the highlight clips of Derrick talking to Spence. He's saying you need to stay focused and stop raising yourself up on the inside and subjecting yourself to a hook or uppercut. He was like, stay focused during the fight. Even Spence said it. Spence said it at the press tour. He said, if I stay focused, don't lose focus, I should be good to go. He wasn't talking about, not ballooning up and weight. Schoolhouse Rock, I'm just a bill. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill. I'm just a bill. Shout out to your neat Don on deck. Shout out to Caps in 4G in the building. Bud, a.k.a. Honey Badger. Hey, man, they say he light. You know what I'm saying? They say he light and small. But every time I see them motherfucking honey badgers are up there, goddamn gnawing at a bigger damn species, bro. Honey badgers be fucking animals up. I say, how can you not just eat the fuck out of honey badger and go on about your day? Honey badger be chewing the ankles off them motherfuckers, dog. Shit, man. Goddamn honey badgers have them animals going through the orthopedic. My foot is fucked up. Them fucking honey badgers. I hate them motherfuckers. Matter of fact, can you order me some steel toe boots? Fuck them honey, but I'm gonna kick the shit out of them next time I see them. I want steel from the toe all the way up to the goddamn ankle. Goddamn mean motherfuckers. Them honey badgers be fucking your ass up, boy. Salute Caps. That's what I've been saying. They say he light. Keep on saying that, man. Times are ticking, bro. Times are ticking, y'all. Caps, that's what I've been saying. Bud, a honey badger, when I saw your video, I knew exactly the animal you were speaking on. I have to check that out, man. You know, I follow wildlife a lot, you know. Samar Warren, what's good with you? Exactly, WCS Arrow first title against Brooke, coming 2 weight classes down, struggling to make weight and injured. Then his first pay-per-view against Mikey Garcia, coming up 2 weight classes. Hey, Green, you try to tell them aerosexuals that, man, all they do is play stupid. You know what I'm saying? They play the fool, man. They play the fool. They jump in their ignorant freaking costume and they act like they have selective amnesia. That's what they do, bro. They know that. They know that. How can Spence get up there and lie to the people? You know, when Terrence Crawford said, and he wasn't broke when you fought him, and Spence said no. Come on, you didn't even believe that. He said no, and then he said, I broke the other eye. So you happy? Look, you happy that you got a broke fighter that struggle to even get to the ring within a 9-month period after being blasted on by Triple G, and these people refuse to acknowledge that. They want to say that he's a shell of himself. This Errol Spence words now. He's hating on Bud. So look, I got this question for Spence. I truly want to know if you believe the bullshit you talking. I do, man. I truly want to know if you believe the bullshit you talking. Because if that was me up there when Blue, you know, stood up there and you put him on timeout, if that was me, I would have said, listen, first of all, you never let me know that you actually gave a damn about what I'm talking about. And then I would have had to ask, like, do you believe that Terrence Crawford? No, you couldn't tell me you do, because you know, Errol Spence has been on record as saying he respect Crawford's resume. So which one is it? When you're in front of the cameras and you know you're trying to play a role, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to be fake, then you'll say, oh man, come on, man, stop. And then when they interviewing him doing a media scrum, what do he say, y'all? Oh, I respect his resume. Crawford got a good resume. But when you was up on the table on a live stream, you was like, man, come on, man. You ain't fought nobody. Whatever, man. That shit don't seem authentic, man. It don't seem organic, rather. Carlos said, look at when the fight was over in the ring when DJ was talking to Spence. I agree with the in-between rounds. I'm talking about after the fight was over. I have to take another look at it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I can assure you that he was talking about, you know, listen, you look at it this way. Look at it this way. Now we about to dive into a whole nother pool, right? I'm just trying to keep it where you can dip your toes in that bitch. I ain't trying to take you to the motherfucking Amazon on this topic. But check this out, Carlos. I know you're trying to say that he was talking about in between fights. Why in the hell would Derrick James have to talk to Errol Spence about in between fights? And the fight he had with Udenis Ugas was his second fight coming back from the accident. When this man has been on record as saying what? That the accident changed his life, and that was God saying that he's sending him a sign. But then on the rocks, he say even after the car accident, he was still going to the club and he laughed it off. This man just said this recently. So why would Derrick James have to be doing the same thing people was probably telling him prior to the Sean Porter fight? Come on, wasn't Derrick James training him for the Sean Porter fight? Wasn't he? Am I right or wrong? Wasn't Derrick James there prior to the Sean Porter fight? Was he not out there in the streets doing the same thing? So if he's up there with Udenis Ugas after the fight, still trying to talk sense in him, hey, let's just say what you're talking about is correct, right? He said, hey man, you just gotta stay focused in between fights and all that. Why does he have to continue to tell this man and all these other people to stay focused in between fights, bro? If you focus outside the ring, you're going to be focused. You're going to lose focus inside the ring. If you're not focused outside the ring, you're going to lose focus in the ring, man. If he ain't willing to accept that a lot of people are depending on him, and he's in a position where he can make millions. Like this fight right here with Crawford is going to make him millions. This is going to be his highest payday. This is going to be Crawford's highest payday. Both of these fighters are set to make millions, right? Is that not enough for you to tighten up? You know what I'm saying? Is that not enough for you not to dip back? See, now people are curious to know if you're going to make weight. People are curious to know if you're going to stay healthy throughout the entire fight camp because you was able to do it for Sean Porter. You was able to do it for Udenis Ugas. So I'm saying if you come up here and don't make weight, I'm going to bring up the fact that Derrick James, your trainer, said 11 months ago that y'all was training for Terrence Crawford. I said, how in the hell y'all could be training for Terrence Crawford already? And the fight was just made in 2023. So you trying to tell me y'all was training for Terrence Crawford before your Udenis Ugas fight? When Terrence Crawford had a fight with Sean Porter? I mean, I don't know, man. It's not tic-tac. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, man. Who's lying out of it? Who's lying between these dudes? Because this is just public record shit. It's just public record. It's a video out there, Derrick James saying that they already been training. He said that shit on live telecast, y'all, that they already been training for Terrence Crawford. And this was months ago. Shout out to True Media Today, USA Boxing, Coach Malachi in the building, man. Salute at WCS. Peace to everyone in the chat. Salute to your coach. Appreciate you pulling up. Need to say a lot of male animals are scared of honey badgers because they go straight for the testicles. Hey, them honey badgers are brutal, man. You know what I'm saying? Them hyenas, they'll bite the shit out of them bulls too. Rip them motherfuckers right up, man. What's going on, John? How you feeling, man? Salute WCS in chat. Salute to you, brother. Bud gave Brooks 60 days to get ready to fight. So check this out. So let's just take 60 days and group that into a week, right? 60 days is considered 8 weeks, which is more than enough time for a fighter to have a fight camp. Am I right or wrong, young shawty? Young shawty guap? Am I right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? You say 60 days like you're trying to compare it to a short window. Is 8 weeks feasible to the average fight camp? Because there's fighters out here that tell you they get the phone call, they got like 4 weeks. You got fighters out here with 5 weeks. But you trying to say Crawford gave Kell Brooks 60 days. No, how about saying 8 weeks? How about putting 8 weeks up there? Man, come on, bro. Come on. Y'all coming here trying to say what the trainer said. Bring the trainer on here so he can tell me. Because you're trying to say 9 months, coming down from 2 weight classes, being beat the fuck up, having your eye socket broken, right? Fragmented, fractured, to fighting 154, 3 fights and coming down with ample amount of time to drop the weight. You don't have a leg to stand on. I guess a honey badger done chewed the fuck out of your Achilles, and you up here, crawling on the ground and shit. Come on, somebody give me a buggy. No, you out here in the Serengeti. Ain't no buggies out here. Somebody find me a horse, a camel, find a giraffe. No, we don't do that. We don't do that, bro. They still showed up to fight, collect the paycheck, and went home. Hey, man, they don't want to get no credit. Like I said before, this should be an extremely easy fight, y'all. Real talk. Extremely easy fight. Because we still have people over here saying that, hey, he only gave Kell Brooks 60 days. That's 8 weeks. How many weeks does a fighter need to have in fight camp? Hold on for a second. This is Rob on deck. What's good with it? Band on deck. What's good? Salute to you. What up, WCS? Did you see the confrontation in the hallway between Bud and James at the NYC presser? Did I see it personally? No, I did not, because I was already seated in the seat to get my view. You know what I'm saying? I was not out there trying to ruffle anybody's freaking, feathers, because they was already feeling some type of way about me being in attendance. But I was already seated, as I put out here previously. I just have to brag about this because certain people did not want me to have this position, but I did. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Right there, center, right where the fighters turned around. I already had the scoop. I gauged the distance, what was going on. They have to come down there, and that's what it was, man. But to answer your question, no, I did not. And plus, you gotta have, a certain type of access to just wander around and be back there with all the people without somebody being in your ear like a gnat, an adult gnat, asking you dumb questions. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I thank God I was able to, be in that. But let me propose this question to y'all, and appreciate everyone that's been here. It's going on almost 2 hours. But I wanted to ask you this, what do you think about the 39 that have tried? Being that we have the 40th, we have the 40th recipient that will go down in history as number 11. Number 11. He will be lucky number 7 in title defenses. But he will be number 11. And not only will Spence be number 11, there's a lot riding on the line with this fight. For two-time undisputed, we know that. Two-time undisputed, right? That's history right there. That's legendary shit. That's Hall of Fame shit for real. You know, he already got his hand casted. That's just another reason for him to move higher up on the list and stay there, right? But not only that, his mom's birthday is on that day. So I need to ask you all, like 39 have tried and 39 have failed. Why hasn't it convinced the naysayers to be a bit more fair? Why hasn't it convinced them to be a bit more fair with who they dealing with? You can't continue to say, nah. Don't nobody want to hear that. You got to come to the reality, bro. You got to take a deep breath. And you have to recognize this man's accolades. You think it's bad from now until the fight with me? Bro, it's going to be extremely. I'm not even digging into my freaking repertoire of thumbnails. You all, the arrow section, you have no idea. It's going to be Armageddon on this bitch, man. It's going to be Armageddon on here. 39 have tried. 39 have failed. But yet, every time the subject is brought up, y'all have some lie to tell. That is how it works all the time. He ain't fought nobody. So goddamn it, I want to see an easy ass fight. Try to catch him while he cold. You know what I'm saying? Try to catch him while he cold. You know, it should be an easy ass fight, man. Fuck it. We don't have to sit here and play games. It should be an easy ass fucking fight. Y'all know all the answers. You know, y'all want the man to fight two common opponents. He did. You didn't like it. You say they was a shell of themselves, retirement, all this other shit. So if you want to go, you know, deeper down, the only other person y'all bring up is Igis Kavalauskas. And y'all bring him up because you feel that, oh, Crawford was hurt. But I just showed you a video where there's plenty of fights where Spence was hurt. Hey, we ain't trying to change the way y'all think. Y'all continue to do what you do. But hey, peep this out though. Blunt said, no, I read the article. Brook made the choice not to have his trainer or Eddie back him in the fight with Bud. That's his fault. Brook's trainer wanted to be there, but Brook said no. I mean, Brook went against the grain even when he fought Triple G. He went against the grain when he fought Triple G. And who benefited off him fighting Triple G? Spence. So if he was still having those issues with teams, right? Then guess what? They even. If they was having issues with Crawford, okay, that's the same issues he was having when he stepped up and fought Triple G. It was against his team's wishes. I don't know. Don't ask me, but it seems similar, doesn't it? I'm just saying it has similar. It has similar evidence to it. Real talk. I give him credit. Brook ain't scared. No, Brook ain't scared, man. Brook ain't no punk. You know, but numbers don't lie in this particular case, right? Numbers don't lie. So we can add up the combined rounds fought between Sean Porter and Kell Brook. We can add up when they fought Terrence Crawford, and we can add up the rounds spent fighting fighting Errol Spence. And numbers don't fucking lie, bro. You know what I'm saying? Numbers don't lie. Because if we all go back to Kell Brook, he went all the way to the 11th round with Kell Brook. Real talk. All the way to the 11th round. All the way to the 11th freaking round. And he went 12 with Sean Porter. So that right there, and round 10 is not even close. It's not even freaking close, man. When you add up the combined rounds fought for both opponents between Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, man, and you want a slight decision, split decision. And what was the excuse for doing that? Now, I would like somebody please ask Derrick that. What was the excuse for you being the trainer and your fighter going in there fighting Sean Porter's fight? Was that a lack of ring IQ, or that's the 2-year gap they had that's never been repaired? You know what I'm saying? Is that the 2-year gap of scar tissue? Because that seems like some scar tissue right there. Like, y'all seem to have that dead space right there. Who recommended him go in there and fight Sean Porter's fight? Was Derrick James the trainer? Did you recommend that? Did you think, you had 12 rounds, right? Did you ask Spence, listen, what the fuck you doing, man? Do you want to win this shit or not? I haven't seen no clips out there of when you was just pretty much questioning what he had going on. Like, did you approve that message? Did you say, hey, man, you're doing a great job, man. Continue to fight this fight. I don't think you're winning this motherfucker, but it's a close fight, but go ahead. We're going to prove to the people. This is the fight we want to have. We want to, to let the people know we can go mano a mano with Sean Porter. Keep on doing your thing. Derrick James was his trainer, y'all. Come on, bro. Stop it. Derrick James was his trainer. You didn't warn, or you didn't give him any advice to say, what are you doing? Or that's the game plan you came up with. Hey, I'm telling you like this. Have that same game plan with Crawford too. I want y'all to come in there chugging away, goddammit. Ride down that railroad track and come forward all night long. I'm waiting on that. You're talking about a light fighter too? Oh, man, y'all shouldn't have no problem. I'm pretty sure there's no rehydration clause, right? So you'll be a good 155, 160, middleweight, welterweight. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, bro. I want you to be 100,000%, bro. That's from the people involved. Engel was in Spain, and Brook didn't want Hearn in on the money. It seemed like Brook was daring to be great with Triple G and Bud. Hey, Brook, I commend him for not being a punk. I don't know about being daring to be great, because, daring to be great is basically saying you believe within yourself to have a chance, to have a window to go up there and win. I don't know if Brook entered that fight with Triple G with clarity that he had an opportunity to win. I don't know about that. He might not. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to say. I don't know how much he got paid for that fight. I don't know how much he got paid for that fight, but the only thing I can say is, like, did he go in there with the confidence that he can beat the man, or did he just go up there for a check? Because you got to look at it this way too. He was undefeated. He didn't really have anything to lose except his O. So you think about how many fights has he had since he fought Triple G? How many? 5? 6? I would say 6, including Amir Khan. Came down, fought Spence, went up 54 for 3. That's 4. You know what I'm saying? Fought Terrence, that's 5. Fought Brook, that's 6. So he gave away his O. Took another loss with Errol. Took 3 fights up 1 division. Took his 3rd loss with Crawford. And then got a win back with Amir Khan. It's not a bad record to go out with. It's not a bad record, bro. But y'all know what it is. It's 5 seconds off 2 hours, man. Appreciate y'all stopping in for the hot grease, man. Hey, y'all continue to pass the word, man. Hit the like button on your way out. You know what I'm saying? The hot grease is always going to be just that, especially heading into July 29th. It's definitely, and you know, once again, I need to give a big shout out to Jihad Tucker, who's going in there to fight for his 11th professional fight. Be sure to check out the flyer. Jared Anderson will be the headliner. The U.S. American heavyweight, Jared Anderson, will be on deck as the headliner. You know what I'm saying? But Jihad Tucker going in there to represent once again, to set them fireworks off at 154 pounds. This would be his second fight at 154 pounds. You feel me? So big shout out to Jihad Tucker. We look forward to seeing you back in the square, man. And in the meanwhile, I'll tell you like I told you the other day, heavy is the head who wears the crown. I'm out.